And a good evening, meteorologist Chris Smith here in the Panhandle Weather Studios out in Inlet Beach. Meteorologist Dan Nyman is across the bridge, and there he is, looking mighty dapper today on this terrific Tuesday. Weather-wise, it was in the 60s.
Yeah, it felt good. It's about time. I was looking at long range stuff like 5 o'clock tonight. Just like, when are we going to get into the 70s? And like the outliers of the ensemble models for the Euro and the GFS, at least towards like the middle of the month, there's like a 5% chance we get close to 80.
Yeah, it definitely was looking like it was going to be, we're going to settle into some warmer weather here for at least a little bit here across our area. So good news. Now, first things first, we have to get through some cool weather that's going to be coming in for like Thursday, Friday. But by the weekend, I think you're going to get a little, a hint of spring fever maybe taking hold.
It's just about time. But across the area today, actually yesterday, Chris, we had a pretty cool sight in the sky. Josie gave us a tip on that.
Yes, there was a meteor that was visible here in Northwest Florida, and you could see that if you looked real carefully right there. It was pretty low to the horizon. It was kind of a slow mover there, but gave a pretty good show there last night over near Weewa. This was at 9:37 Eastern time, so 8:37 Central time. But Todd Hughes has himself a great spot out there. And the funny thing is, it's just one of those like cheap Wise cameras that he uses. And he's always capturing great things. Now, that's one of the cool things about being out in Weewa is like you don't have a lot of light pollution and things like that. And so you're more prone to be able to see things like the meteors. And that's what Todd captured last night. We always appreciate him sharing those with us. So thank you very much, Todd. Much appreciated. Meanwhile, today, it was a good day to get the Sea Screamer out. It finally warm enough there, and you can see they had oodles of folks on the Sea Screamer with the mild temperatures today and the nice onshore wind that developed. A beautiful sunset this evening from the Upers, and then Austin Allen over at Rick Seltzer Park tonight, capturing that sun right before it dipped out over across the horizon. We would love it if you would share your pictures and videos with us anytime, like Austin or the Upers. Man, all at Todd. Just be like them. Submit them to us on our app there at Panhandle Weather. Just search for it free in the iTunes App Store as well as the Google Play Store. So some good news there as far as those pictures. Now, as far as this evening across Northwest Florida, we're still holding on to a little bit of daylight over into Destin there as you look out towards the Gulf. And if you look carefully, you can definitely see the waves rolling in as that wind, we talked about it last night, out of the south to southeast at about 9 miles per hour. Meanwhile, over into Panama City, things are quiet, 60 degrees, dew point up to 53. So last night we were down with dew points in the 30s. Now we're with dew points in the 50s, and this is going to be key because guess what? With the dew points in the 50s, that tells us tonight low temperatures are going to probably stay in the 50s with the south wind at about 10 miles per hour. Meanwhile, out over Pineapple Willie's, looking Gulfward tonight, you see a few clouds there, and again, southerly winds continuing to blow at about 10 miles an hour. Sharkies, we had some folks out dining for lunch today. Things are pretty comfortable, but even right now, still holding on to 60 degrees. We got one table off there in the distance. But a beautiful day across Northwest Florida. High temperatures since midnight. Actually, look at this. We did touch 70 in Mariana. I knew we were close, but 68, 69, 66, 64 in Inlet Beach, 67 at Tyndall Air Force Base. Right now, we're currently into the 50s to right around 60 degrees. And when you compare that to this time yesterday, most of us are a good 10 plus degrees warmer than what we were this time yesterday. So some pretty nice temperatures out there with the warm up. Unfortunately, it will be brief because cooler weather is going to return. You can see the onshore wind all across our area. Now, as a whole, the wind remains fairly light, but it is continuing to pump that moisture in across northwest Florida this evening, and we'll continue to keep that wind out of the south to southwest as we move through the next several hours, through the overnight hours. It won't be until our front comes through tomorrow afternoon that we'll see these winds turn from the southwest to the northwest. Now, you will notice on Wednesday the winds will be kind of breezy, especially down towards the beaches, but then there's that front that comes through as we head into Wednesday afternoon and evening, and then winds will pick up out of the north and west tomorrow evening, and that's going to be that cooler air that comes in. To talk more about some rain on the way and those cooler temperatures, we go to meteorologist Dan Nyman.
Yeah, just give me a second to get things figured out here. Everything's not working today. A little bit of an old computer going in the house. So we'll just pull up graphics here really quickly. I'll keep clicking away while talking. We can multitask. We're doing it live. Isn't that the famous saying, Chris? We're just going to do it live. But we've got to, of course, see the winds start to shift as we get through the end of the day tomorrow night. Much cooler temperatures will return as we get in towards Thursday morning. Now, we're not talking about anything close to what we saw heading through last weekend, but certainly going to be something that is a little bit of a reset as far as those winter feels. Give me a click right here, Chris, as we talk about those rain chances heading in through the mid part of the week. We'll see low temperatures starting off tomorrow into the 40s towards Tallahassee, 50s elsewhere, and then near 60 towards the coastline. Look across those county by county, town by town temperatures, and it should be pretty mild across the area as you get out the door early tomorrow. And then, of course, we're back on our way back towards the 60s. Temperatures might not get super warm through the afternoon. The rainfall could cool things down just a bit. Added cloud coverage out there too, but all in all, a very typical sort of temperature feel outside across the area. Radar right now all quiet as we're continuing to see big changes across parts of the country. We're briefly quieter, not seeing a whole lot of activity as far as what's going on radar. However, now as you look up towards parts of Lexington or Kentucky, over towards West Virginia, I saw Dora mentioning some snow towards Lexington here. You got some snow, some wintry mix up there, heading further down through the south. Cold front spurring up showers across parts of Mississippi, Alabama, even a small risk of some severe storms as you get across parts of Louisiana and in towards East Texas. Haven't seen a whole lot of activity out there so far, but for us tomorrow, we'll see a similar very, very low chance of any sort of thunderstorm activity. Not even seeing a whole lot of thunderstorm potential, but it's something we'll monitor here as we see the arrival of some rain showers across the area fairly early in the day on Wednesday. A slow mover here as far as this passing through. You get things going before sunrise in the western panhandle. In any given location, it doesn't rain all day, but it certainly does linger just a bit here as you see that slow progression from Crestview into Funiac Springs around 8:30 to only towards Mexico Beach by the 1 o'clock hour. And it should be the mid-afternoon time frame before we see the rainfall slowly taper off. And at least with the slow motion here, rainfall totals kind of bumping up in the last few forecast runs, but ultimately it's not a whole day's washout of rain. And very quickly by Thursday, we're working our way back towards sunshine across the area. So you at least have the sun to go with the colder temperatures. That'll be there with the northwest wind around that timeline. But of course, Chris, rainfall right now, we're looking at, quarter to a half an inch. Thunderstorm could get you closer to an inch or so, but there's not a whole lot I've seen that says thunderstorms are going to be something everybody experiences. Most are going to see a good old-fashioned rainfall with temperatures generally only in the 60s.
Yeah, some of the folks in the chat, Miss Tressa, thank you very much for your kind words, and good evening, Miss Tammy. Dora's seeing some snow up in Lexington, which Dan just showed you on the radar there a few moments ago. Miss Josie, yes, you were a minute or two late to the conversation, but we did. It was last night at 8:37 Central Time. We were able to, our friend Todd Hughes was able to share us some video from his house, and you see it kind of behind the tree line there. Give it just a second to reset. And then there you see, right behind the tree line, a nice green tail, we're told, and kind of a slow mover over across the horizon. But we thank Todd for sharing that with us. But yes, we showed our intrepid viewers just a little while ago and posted it to social. And thanks again for the heads up as to that as well, Miss Josie, Miss Jessica. Yes, nice weather. I just sent my sister a couple pictures of the temperature just to rub it in. We don't have to tell her what it was like the past few days.
That never happened. We're Florida. It's always sunny and warm, but it's sunny and warm, Chris. I know we've kind of hinted at this cool down for Thursday and Friday. The weekend, though, is going to make up for it. And in fact, the long range forecast will too.
We're proud to bring you the most popular cars in the
Nothing's
world.
working.
Like the stylish Camry and the sporty Corolla. Get award-winning style and 2.99% APR on a new Camry, named the best new model by Kelley Blue Book. Plus, you get 90 days until you make your first payment. Curb appeal comes standard on the new Corolla, designed to wow from the inside out. Get 2.99% APR plus 90 days until your first payment. Panama City Toyota, your Camry and Corolla headquarters.
Your piece of land demands the very best equipment. Kubota equipment. The #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. With professional grade mowers, versatile sidekick utility vehicles, and compact tractors that get it done right. All backed by unmatched dealer support. Talk to your dealer today to know.
When it comes to building, local experience matters. At Mid-South Lumber, our team knows the job, and we'll help you get it right the first time. From weekend DIY projects to full custom builds, you'll get solid materials, fair prices, and service you won't find at a big box store. That's why we're the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. Mid-South Lumber. Shop local. Build with confidence. Let's quote your next project today.
Now, from your trusted team of meteorologists at Panhandle Weather, this is your evening forecast update.
And good evening, everyone. I hope everyone's having a good evening tonight across Northwest Florida. I'm trying to think, we got Miss Lila in the studio here this evening. She's with me, and Mom and Charlie are over in Fort Walton Beach doing a little bit of work there. And if you guys could see just like a teeny bit down there, there is a little head, little blonde head of hair. I don't think that pen's gonna work. Yeah, I don't think that. She's doing some drawing exercises. So anyway, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about, there she is. Love it. Okay, let's talk about what's happening this evening across Northwest Florida. We'll see some passing showers and maybe a couple storms tomorrow. I think 1 inch on the higher end of the spectrum. On the lower end, hopefully at least 1/4 inch of rainfall. We'll see a cool down for Thursday and Friday, and then sunny and warmer weather as we head on into the weekend. So let's go ahead and talk about as far as the temperatures tonight. We're cooling off fairly quickly, but then we just kind of level off right around 50 degrees this evening and in through the overnight hours. By tomorrow morning, as you head off to work and school, there will be at least a chance for some rainfall that will begin to slide across our area. Southwesterly winds picking up as we head through the night and into tomorrow. Nothing too crazy, but I do think we get up there 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. Nothing like obviously what we saw earlier in the week. And then you see there those winds turning out of the northwest, and they will remain breezy into Wednesday night. And that will usher in that cooler air mass that you're going to definitely feel Thursday and to a certain extent on Friday. But Thursday by far will be the coolest day, as we'll see highs only into the low 50s on Thursday. Things should warm up at least a little bit, closer to 60 as we head into Friday, though. So those winds Thursday night do begin to die down, but notice they're still out of the north and west. So rain chances, nothing going on this evening. And then while you're sleeping, 20%, 30%. But notice again, you get into that, I'm heading off to school and work time frame, and those rain chances are rapidly increasing across our area. So future clouds and radar, quiet conditions at least for the time being, and then we have a few spotty showers begin to roll in through the morning, and then through 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, some showers, maybe a thunderstorm sliding from west to east. And again, the potential exists, again, hopefully an inch of rainfall. I'd love it if all of us would get an inch of rainfall. Not convinced that will happen, but I think it will be at least a dousing. And And you'll see rainfall chances through 6 o'clock in the morning. They're on the lower end, especially as you move to the east, and then they get a little bit higher back to the west. And you'll see those rain chances increase through mid-morning and into the afternoon hours. But then notice by 1:30, the bulk of the rainfall is, say, 331 to the east, and we're already down to a 30% chance of rain over for our friends in Pensacola, and then rapidly decreasing. And then say through 6 o'clock, through the 231 corridor, we're down to about 30 to 40% chances of rain, with the heavier rain over towards Tallahassee. And then just like that, the rain chances are just about gone as we head through the rest of the evening hours. Now, as far as the chances of us seeing thunderstorms, you look at the chances here on the map, and they're not particularly good. Less than a 10% chance of seeing thunderstorms, so it's not a 0% chance, but it's mainly a rain event, and we're not necessarily concerned about anything in the way of any severe weather. Low temperatures tonight, 40s through the Chipola River Valley, otherwise 50s and 60s elsewhere. For the kids tomorrow, give them the rain gear because it is going to be a bit of a soggy day with a good chance of rainfall. Could be as early as first bell and then on into the afternoon. Now, I think the bulk of the rainfall is probably while they're in school, so recess is probably not going to necessarily happen for a lot of kids across our area. High temperatures Wednesday will climb up into the 60s, but then here you go. This is on the backside of the front. So tomorrow's highs, because of the clouds and rain, won't be as warm as today. They'll still be okay. But then as the cold air comes in, look at this. We're way down into the 30s, area wide when you wake up Thursday morning. And then look at these highs on Thursday. Again, low 50s, that's about it. Maybe mid 50s in a couple spots, but it's definitely going to be on the chilly side for Thursday as that sunshine gradually returns. So again, for the time being, the cool weather remains across the east and the warm weather is out to the west, but we see hope that that will begin to change. We've already seen moisture streaming up to our west, and then that shifts to the east across our area tomorrow, which is going to lead to a better chance of some showers and maybe a few thunderstorms across the northern Gulf Coast and then down across the peninsula of Florida. Meanwhile, the northern extent of this storm system, there's a chance back up into the Carolinas for a little bit of a wintry precipitation, even up into parts of Tennessee as well, as cold air begins to return and invade across the eastern part of the United States. Now, for us, rainfall chances, 90% for Wednesday, and then look at that, smooth sailing right on through the rest of the week and on into the weekend. So when we talk about what's going to be happening, you'll see these spotty showers moving from the west to the east. A few embedded thunderstorms. This is through 11 o'clock in the morning. And then notice most of it's out of here by tomorrow evening. So when we talk tomorrow night for Panhandle Weather Live at 6, most of the rainfall will be gone, and we'll be checking our rain gauges to see how much we've seen. And there's that cold air that begins to filter in across our area from the north and west. And it's going to hopefully bring us at least some decent rainfall. Rainfall mounts over the next 7 days. You can see not a ton, but at least we have some green on the map here. When we look at the rainfall mounts, we're looking at on the low end, maybe about a half inch to or on the low end would be about a 1/10 to a half inch of rainfall. On the higher end would be about a half inch to an inch of rainfall. But you definitely notice there is a swath of heavier showers kind of east of 331 through 231 and over towards, say, like Highway 71, 73 seems to be kind of where the core of the heavier rainfall ends up being. Now, to talk more about the weekend forecast, Dan, how are things working okay on your end?
Not quite, but we can always make it work. Okay. That's my job, isn't it? It's just like, find a way. It's going to work somehow. So if you do the clicking, we can all find out what graphic is coming up next together, and we'll talk about it. And that we'll start with the weekend. I know that one's here. We've got temperatures rising, of course. I said before the break, this weekend is going to be a perfect treat after the last several really being kind of crummy in one way or another. I guess the snow was exciting several weekends ago, but then you had the severe weather and then the extreme cold. Now we're looking at upper 60s, near 70 by Sunday, light winds, sunshine. The beach is probably going to be a little busy with folks just out walking because it's been a little while since we can make do with that. And then as we get into next week, we'll continue to see that sort of rising temperature pattern. Of course, the ebbs and the flows continue through winter time, but notice this. those yellows are a ridge of high pressure, so at least the influence of some warming temperatures are going to be out there. A little shortwave back towards Texas shouldn't be a huge problem for the early part of the week's forecast. In fact, it's a pattern reversal here by Tuesday. The trough, all the active weather, some of the storm activity on the west coast, the high pressure now on the east coast, quieter, warmer, sunnier weather is going to be something we see early next week. Still a little breezy out there behind the front. The winds will pick up maybe 10-15 miles per hour, perhaps a gust into the 20s here as we get on the backside of that front tomorrow. That sticks around for Mardi Gras. You'll see temperatures in the 50s Friday. Much nicer for Saturday, though. We get back up into the upper 60s, like I mentioned. Sunshine all throughout the festivities. Temperatures pretty comfortable even at sets. You see here, slow to cool from the 60s into the 50s. Will still be about 51 degrees by 9 p.m. on Saturday. And then, of course, other activities happening across the area. We have the Camellia Festival 10 to 2. That's going to be back into the 60s as well at Eden Garden State Park. 64 degrees or so when things wrap up there. Then you could head just a little drive away to the Golden Retriever meetup. This one's always fun to show the graphic for, Chris. Temperatures, of course, through the 60s, light winds, clear skies. Puppers get a nice treat after that was postponed from the extreme cold last weekend. And your temperature trend finally showing a whole lot more yellow out there. We've got temps through the 60s all throughout the 7-day forecast from basically Saturday through Tuesday. A slow but impressive warming trend, one that's going to feel very refreshing given where things have been so far over the last few weeks. Low temperatures do the same thing. We're back into the 50s at the coast by Monday and Tuesday of next week, so a little bit of a cooler start this weekend despite the warming high temperatures, but the moisture return arrives by Monday. You'll see lows into the 40s as well for inland areas. And then, of course, the big headline in the weather world, the temperature outlooks. As we look at some of the pattern changes, how are the weather impacts going to evolve as the jet stream changes shape from that trough on the east coast that's been persistent over the last few weeks? It looks like, at least for now, there's a very good probability of warmer than average conditions from the 9th to the 13th. You'll see here the highest probabilities in the western panhandle, slightly lower in the eastern panhandle. So the confidence is much higher back towards Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama for that period. But from the 11th to the 17th, the confidence in warm conditions further into the panhandle. You'll see here very good confidence, especially given that far out, that we're going to be looking at temperatures above average. So at least as we get in towards mid-February for now, it looks like warm weather will be a bigger part of the story. I'll caution you, though, we're probably not done with big cooldowns just yet. Your 7-day forecast, therefore, a brief cooldown after the front and showers tomorrow. Coastal spots about a 90% chance of rain with maybe the axis of heaviest rainfall and the highest rainfall totals centered over 231. Temperatures drop for Thursday. The coldest morning will be Friday. From there, it's all about the rising temperatures. You'll notice some inland spots could briefly freeze for Friday morning, but I don't know that we're looking at a pipe or a faucet dripping situation right now. Although covering plants certainly a good idea with temperatures down into the upper 20s briefly. This weekend we're back into the 40s for lows, highs around 70, and the temperatures keep rising all the way through the early part of next week. So a welcome treat for us, Chris, here in the forecast, and we have certainly earned it.
Yeah, it's going to be really nice this weekend into next week. Cool mornings, but warm afternoons. I hope everyone takes advantage of it and enjoys it. Randy's going to look forward to it. He's hoping it doesn't bring any severe weather, and well, severe weather is just kind of part of what happens. That's the part of the ebb and flow of weather from cold to warm and warm to cold, but we'll make sure you're covered. But the good news is we don't see any severe weather here coming up anytime soon. And Jessica's like, let's see, her sister lives in Center County, Pennsylvania. Who she was bragging to, which there are a lot of reasons why you could brag about not being in Center County, Pennsylvania, as someone from Pennsylvania. So God bless your sister, Jessica. Be nice to her.
Yeah, I know. It's like, got to keep an eye on the temperatures back home from time to time before I complain. Otherwise, you just wear it from Mom and Dad. What are you complaining about?
Oh, goodness, we certainly are blessed. Well, I think that's about all we could do for today. We got rain on the way tomorrow. We'll make sure that you're covered for that, but we're not expecting any severe weather, just an outside chance of a few rumbles, but nothing we can't handle, and certainly we could benefit from a little bit of rain.